All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh, and double honors unto the apostles, and notice a great millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings for you walking among them. Push this word, truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there believing in the gospel. And it's a couple of us from the Great Millstone Houston Camp out of Houston Church at the Water Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for blessing us with another opportunity to come out and prophesy. And most importantly, prophesy against Babylon the Great, which we're living in right now. When you look around, America is Babylon the Great according to the Bible. It was said at the end that the Edomites, the last heathen ruler, to rule before our Lord come back, the Edomites would be ruling over Babylon the Great, right? And when you look out, it says that this nation of Edom, they would go across the world, conquer the world by war, right? Take over people's resources, oppress the world, and steal riches. And they will be linked to Babylon the Great. Well, lo and behold, we see the so-called white man falling, right? From the heights that the heavenly Father put you in. And as we see, if you look in history, right? Go back in antiquity, right? A secular history, every nation had an opportunity to rule. All nations had an opportunity to rule. Even those over there in Iran today, they had a time to rule. When you read about Xerxes in the Bible, right? Cyrus in the Bible, that's your Persians. That's the modern day Iranians. Every nation had an opportunity to rise, get an empire, have some type of dominance in a portion of the earth. The Lord just blessed the Edomites with the whole earth, but now it's coming to an end. And that's why you see the so-called white man, woman, and child being exposed for who they really are. Right? The so-called white man like little boys, girls. We ain't got to talk about the files, the Epstein files, right? They started to be showing all these so-called white women, hey, they sleep with dogs, animals, horses, children at the high school. Think about it, the usual suspects, right? Who is the reason for all the war in the earth? The usual suspects, the Edomites, who is known as today as so-called white people, man. But as end time Bible prophecies say, the nation of Edom will be called out and exposed before they fall, and we at that point in time, man. And now they're trying to creep their way over there to the east, which they call it the Middle East. But Iran, which they've been trying to do, and Israel trying to play the victim, all is going to backfire. It's all going to backfire. You know how we show that? Bible prophecy. What did God say? This is Revelation 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And this represents Esau, Edom. When you read in Genesis about Esau and how his name was changed to Edom, or they're interchangeable, the word Edom means red. And this is all pointing to this devil, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. This is his real name. It's not the white man, he's Esau. So, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And you see, this is what this man is doing all throughout the earth. Going to Iran, going to Venezuela, wanting to take, Greenland. Everywhere this devil is going, he's taking peace from the earth. Hey, when he was in India, handing out the jabs, taking peace away from them. There's a lot of them people, they sign a, what is it when you sign an agreement that you're not going to see them if anything happens? Something like that. But basically, they went over there, poisoning all these people, poisoned their children, and then had them sign, what would be NDAs, or pardon me for not knowing the right term, but they would go through there, so you can't sue them, you can't retaliate, you can't take up legal action for the things that he's done throughout the earth. And this beast has been doing this ever since he came out of
came out of the bottomless pit. Came out of his I wanted to say retirement, but came back after the Renaissance, right? The rebirth. So again, Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And this devil has all kinds of weaponry, all kinds of technology. You know, everything that he does is to kill, to take peace away from him. That was it.
That's Esau, or the so-called white man's blessing, the sword. To kill indiscriminately. We go back. This is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 28, verse 38. It said, "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou the one blessing my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Because Esau, Karen, whatever you want to call him, the so-called white man is always playing the victim. He goes into areas, does things, makes agreements, then he backdoors on them, and then he wants to blame other people. Like he'll go into a land, destroy the resources. Then once those people start retaliating, he'll turn the narrative as if these people are bad. Once he's destroyed their way of living. That's what Esau does. But this is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 39. It says, "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." And that's what the brother was talking about, Renaissance. The so-called white man, he broke that yoke off of his neck, and now he has the fatness of the earth. He's ruling the whole entire earth in wickedness. And he's ruling, like the brother said, by the sword. Esau was given a great sword, and that's what he does. And his food, he has weaponized everything. He's weaponized the food, he's weaponized the air, he's weaponized the water, he's weaponized everything, that you can think of. Anything that promotes life, Esau, the so-called white man, has polluted and destroyed.
This is John chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. That's the brother was going into. All right. The devil here is Esau, Edom, the so-called white people. And he was a murderer from the beginning. And to show you the Heavenly Father has a sense of humor, Cain was the murderer that the scripture is talking about. Cain was reincarnated as Esau. And the Most High made his blessing the sword. Oh, when you like to murder, I'm going to make your blessing the sword. That's how you know he wasn't meant to get the birthright. Right? He wasn't meant to get the blessing of righteousness. Right? He was meant to get what he got because he was a murderer from the beginning. All right? I'm talking about some white people. All right? This is John chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father he will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
When he said he abode not the truth. When you think about it, the so-called white man just can't do right. Never could. You in the garden, right? You in this paradise, which Adam and his people moved over. But the point is, he was willing to mess all that up. Mess all that up, you the reason who got an evil. Then you go down to Cain. Right? You just got to think about that spirit of Esau. He loved blood. It couldn't have just been Cain just picked up a rock and just poof. Hit everyone, that's it. He just probably kept going and blood. Who knows? The point is, you can't do right. And why I say that,
You had Cain came up under who? Adam. You knew what to do. You had Esau came up under who? Isaac. You knew what to do. You just couldn't do right. And just like the Lord said today, Psalms 50, how America try to portray themselves as this God-fearing nation, right? Can anybody get that Psalms 50? Taking the Lord book, talking about God bless America and the nation built off, the commandments and the standard of the Lord, man, BS. BS. And that's why it's great judgment coming to this place. And if you didn't know, for you people out there, this place you call home, America, is in the Bible. And it's Babylon the Great. The last empire the Lord will judge, and it's going to be the greatest judgment. And why you think everything around you happened? Why? Who got that Psalms 50? You got it, bro.
This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 16. It says, but unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statute, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Now, all nations do have wicked people. But according to the Bible, it is a wicked nation. And Malachi 1:4 said that the Edomites are the wicked. And you got it. Read aloud and proud.
This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Well, I'll start at verse 3. And I hated Esau.
Right? The Lord said he hated Esau. And it's beautiful because these so-called white people today think they're blessed just because they may have more money in a better neighborhood, right? Because they went to college and they got these prestigious titles and so on and so forth, right? They're the ones who, which y'all took a lot of inventions anyway and just patented, but y'all the ones who, built up this current society as far as the technology and so on and so forth. So the so-called white man think he better than everybody, not knowing the Lord set you up. The Lord had it to what the Edomites in the last days, the most degenerate nation, the base sort, the basest people. He will lift them up in the latter days. He will give them riches. He will give them the world, and most importantly, He will give them a weapon to live by and to conquer the earth by. Now, when you look out, who could that be? Is it the Chinese man? No. Is it the so-called black man? No. Is it the Mexican, Hispanic, Native American, Japanese man? The real Africans? Manute Bo and them? No. It's the so-called white man. You the only nation that lined up with the nation of Edom. And it was said, you will be ruled in the last days. So it's beautiful how the Lord had this story play out. You think you better because you rule the world, but that's the point. What happened to Pharaoh? Can we finish Psalms 50 and get Romans? What you have? Let's finish there. Let's get
Malachi chapter 1 and verse 3. And I hated Esau.
And where we getting this from? The Bible. We reading out the Bible. Bible props, got it.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Right.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate place.
And it's Edom. So the Edomites said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. When did they return? It's a thing called the Renaissance. Rebirth. Meaning rebirth. After Western Rome fell, you had the, what they call the Dark Ages, but the Holy Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire. That was roughly 1,000-some years. But then ultimately you had the Renaissance, when the so-called white man came back in power according to Bible prophecy. And Revelation 20 said he came out to deceive the world. That's what he's talking about right here. We're going to rebuild. Now, lo and behold, look, the Western world, America, and this beast system is Esau rebuilding. But what's going to happen? Got it.
Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts.
But thus saith the Lord, although the so-called white man rebuild and conquer the world, got it.
They shall build what I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever.
And they shall call them, who is them, the Edomites, the border of wickedness. And when you look at the track record of the so-called white man, everywhere he go, what happens? Death, right? Stealing, rape, poisoning people. Hey, growing up, we thought, to feed the Africans, that's real Africans over there. We ain't Africans. Clearly a difference. The commercials feed the children. Send 5 cents. The whole time Bill Gates was over that vaccine, you know, the juice, trafficking children, all that. See, the so-called white man put on a suit and disguised himself from being the wicked of the earth. But now, as I say, you fall and you have to be exposed. That's why the world around you is going. What you got out? All right, let's get so to 73.
Psalm chapter 73 and verse 3, it says, "For I was envious at the foolish." It's Psalm chapter 73 and verse 12. It says, "Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches."
Right? And when you go into Psalm 73, this forefather Asaph, calling up the wicked in the earth. Now, they was going to be the ones who prospered in the earth. They was going to be the ones with the riches. But although they had that, they was the wicked. They were the wicked. Again, think about the things the so-called white man is responsible for, and these other nations started following them. You now have animals going extinct because all they want to do is hunt and cut off the head and put it in a man cave. You know?
Well, Esau wants to feed them different poisons and make them change their sex. Now, I mean, why do you want to feed a dog, a hormone opposite of what it's supposed to do so it changes its sex? I mean, why are we doing that to animals on Earth? Why do we have homosexual animals now?
Yeah, God. Why do we have GMO food? Who is the cause of that? Why is all the water polluted with fluoride? Who is the cause of that? Why is the air polluted? Who is the cause of that? You got trash in space. Who else going to space? Why is it trash in space? But when you go into Bible prophecy, at the end, the Edomites will be called out, the wicked of the earth, and exposed in front of the world, and it say even their allies will be against them. Who is the only nation having that spotlight on them right now? The so-called white man, woman, and child. And you can't escape. And we're going to get Romans 9. That's all that happened, and we understand that. You know, when we heard things growing up like this is the white man's world, we'll probably get mad. And now we're not talking about the whole actual planet Earth. I'm talking about world as in the Greek word eon or aeon, which is an age. This is the age for the so-called white man of rule, started in the Renaissance, and it's over with. But the Lord said that he will build this nation up for the purpose of bringing them down. And that's why we're seeing this. You got it, bro. And again, you're not white, you're different shades of red and pink. Just like your forefather Esau. You got it. Oh, you still had
This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 11. "For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand."
Right, now going into Esau and Jacob, right, which is two twin brothers from Isaac. And if you get Genesis, 25, it says that although they was twins, it was two different nations in the womb. Now, when you read the story of Jacob and Esau, you can look to it and see why it's that tension and hate between so-called white people and then the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Israelites against the Edomites, man, all the way since the beginning. And that's that same tension now, right? It's Bible prophecy. And when you go into can you get second at the 6 or 7? And when you go into Bible prophecy, it says that Esau, once he falls, the Israelites will rule. That's all we waiting on.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the time? Or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth."
Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And we keep saying, according to Bible prophecy, that's where it's written at. Once Esau fought, the Israelites going to rule. That's how it's written. We don't need an army, a physical army, which we have one, right? That you know not of. But we don't need to gather a group of people today and get guns. It's already written for it to happen. Like you said, manifest destiny. It's just manifest destiny. But you got it because the Lord about to replay that same old story as he did with Pharaoh. And he going to use Esau as an example to do so. He rose you up to be this great power just to bring you down. And it's beautiful because we're in the time of World War III. And this is going to be the very way you're going to be brought down. Through the last war, and you made the missiles. You made the weapon. That's going to take you out of power.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 11, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand. Not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Most High forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of the So again, for he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So this is a Yahweh Shem Shai is showing mercy and compassion towards Israel. And how is that? By sending his son Yahweh Shai.
And we're not talking about slacking, but we're not talking about those in the land right now. We're talking about the real biblical Israelites.
Right. And there's a difference. They think they're there, the prophecy is already fulfilled because they're there. We know the prophecy is being fulfilled because they're there. You know, they think they already fulfilled it. But really, in reality, when you go to the land, when we return to the land, we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments who will get us. We're not going to have to rely on other nations to give us weapons, to support us military. There's not going to be any more war. Right now, the nations are beating their plowshares and the swords. When Israel is back in the land, the nations are going to beat their swords and the plowshares. They're going to be severing out men of continual employment. This isn't going to be done by a Balfour Declaration or anything like that. This is going to be done by the hand of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God in Jesus. You know, but again, for he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, that showeth mercy.
Remember what we talk about. The Lord broke up two names for a reason, because everything after those two names, that's the subject matter. He said, as it is written, Jacob have I loved. He put it to their parents, old daughter, and two sons. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. And then he went on, Apostle Paul, into saying that after Jacob and Esau, the Lord to show mercy to who he want to show mercy to and judge who he want to judge. Now he's about to bring up an example to show you how the Lord going to do Esau. That's the two people, that's the two nations he's talking about. But you have Christians today say, well, Apostle Paul never spoke about the Edomites. Yeah, he did. He's breaking it down. Gotta go.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
It says, for the scripture saith to Pharaoh, even for the key word, same purpose have I raised thee up. So the Lord told the Edomites, I raised you up for the same purpose as I raised Pharaoh up. Now, when we go back into history, what was the purpose that the Lord raised Pharaoh up? You had Egypt become this great nation, all for the purpose of what? The Ten Commandments to hit, the night of the Passover, and for the Lord to destroy those Egyptians. First, destroy that land pretty much. He didn't completely wipe it out, but then destroy Pharaoh and his army in the sea. So he raised that great power up so that fall could be that much more harder. So in the same way the Lord said to the Edomites, the last heathen to root, I'm going to raise you up at the end of the world. You're going to become this great, powerful nation. Also, you can just fall. And again, we found out who the Edomites are. It could be no other nation when you look into the characteristics in the scriptures. Who else took over the world by word of sword or with the sword? And then when you took it over, you took every other nation resources, right? Who taking away from the actual resources of the earth? bombing everything. You got Elon Musk them talking about they want to shoot missiles at the moon just to see. You know, we just want to see.
But I mean, they try to block out the sun.
Right. Huh? What other nation is doing that? Poisoning the people, man. You know, chemtrails. Who is it? It's the so-called white man, woman, and child. As the scriptures say, you will be called out in the last days. You had a good run. It was cool. It was short, but it was cool. What America this year, you gonna turn 250 on July 4th. You gonna turn 250. And what's the average lifespan of a kingdom? 250 years. You gotta go.
And it's beautiful because hey, you have signs and wonders in the heavens. You know, you had a planetary alignment. You had a blood moon this morning, not a blood moon, but a blood moon eclipse. You know, and all these are signs of your downfall. You look at what's happening around these events: war, poverty, people crying out, people hurting. But again, Romans 9 and verse 17.
Even in Trump, bro, look, Lord, the past couple of weeks, even since like mid 2025, Trump been on another level. The end of 2025, with that bribe, the Lord turned that up a little more. He got a little more orange and a little more on fire. He said today with Spain, because Spain said, we ain't gonna help you. You can't come over here and try to shoot missiles at, you know, and try to, you know, go against Iran.
Can't use our bases.
You can't use our bases. And Trump said, shit, ain't nobody gonna tell us we can't use their bases. We can pull up and go there if we want to. We can use y'all bases if we want to. He said, matter of fact, we just cut off all y'all water. And what else he said?
Cut off trade.
Cut off trade with you.
Now what?
Yeah. And he was like, so we ain't worried about that. But he said we could do that if we want to. He was like, but we don't need to do all that. So the Lord turned him up on another level, man. So, and what that's gonna go into? That his allies and the nations hate him even more, hate America even more, man. And it's so beautiful, all the things that's happening because America about to get duped. Them and Israel about to get, the Lord about to psych them out. So what's been said is that, of course, you know, the small had drug American interests, right? Now the thing is that you've been having the U.S. and Israel shoot off all those missiles. And Iran been shooting off their old stuff. And they even said everything that you've been defending, and it's been getting through the so-called Iron Dome. So much for being indefensible. But Iran old missiles have been getting through. Now the thing is, you've been having all kind of people come out, like I watched Scott Ritter earlier. And Scott Ritter said that, and everybody been saying it, but America think they're doing something because they killed, you know, Iran's Ayatollah, you know, because they killed their leaders and bombed all, I think, 15 ships that they had in the sea. The thing is, eventually those missiles going to run out. They're playing a quick game. Iran, Russia, China, they're playing a long game. They're planning to go for weeks. And everybody been saying America giving Israel all that money, billions of dollars down the drain, and you're going to run out of artillery. You're going to run out of missiles. And then you're going to have to scramble and do something else. So things about to get interesting, man. Yeah.
Romans 9 and verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Right, so we about to see the Lord's name be declared throughout all the earth. This is the time of Egypt, and he used, now they said, you so to get clout, you know, like if you're a boxer, you fight like a big name boxer, and you become a big name, right? The Lord, just as he used Pharaoh to knock Pharaoh and everybody knew about him, the Lord will use the so-called white man the same way. He allowed you to become this great nation. America, as great as America is, y'all don't think that's nowhere in the Bible? It's not in the Bible at all. Come on, man. You're in the last empire, Babylon the Great. And it says that the Edomites will be ruling over. So let's go into Habakkuk 2. Let's go into Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. Because the Lord gonna give characteristics and signs of the Edomites, the wicked in the last days, and what they will be doing that's gonna lead to their judgment. Got it?
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved. And the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tape, that he may run that readeth it.
Right. Now, to give this some context, Habakkuk, the second chapter, Habakkuk and the Lord was having an ongoing conversation. And pretty much Habakkuk was asking the Lord, when are you going to allow or stop allowing these heathens to rule over us and to oppress us? So the Lord going to give them signs of the end, the last oppressor over the Israelites. And he going to say, write these things down, because eventually they're going to be made plain at the end. You got it.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
And where are we? The end of the world, and not just the whole earth. It ain't gonna be a meteorite that come, you know, like they try to put it in the news and the movies. A meteorite come from earth, from the heavens, and just destroy the whole earth. No, when we say the end is here, it's the end of the so-called white man ruling. The end of him ruling. The earth gonna be here forever. It's a regime change, man. That's where we at.
This is Habakkuk chapter
And that's
2.
according to Bible prophecy. Ain't no other nation gonna rule forever but the Lord and his people. And it said the Lord will come back to the Edomites ruling. Let's read about them. And look, as we read about the characteristics of the Edomites, think about what nation could that be today, and see who that lines up with. Let's read. Let's see.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
You got it.
It said, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
His soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. Now, we going to go into this. It's talking about the Edomites. But we ain't going to be biased right now. We ain't going to give the answer and jump the gun. Let's read the characteristics of the nation of Edom, the last heathen rulers, and see what nation today do this line up with. Is it the Chinese man, Japanese man, the so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American? Is it the white man? Let's find out who is it. Who is doing this in the earth? Bringing war all over the earth. Robbing, stealing, and killing. Right? Let's find out. You got it.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
It's not right. And think of we ain't got to mention too much, just the Epstein file. Show you those people some people ain't right in the earth. You got it.
It says, but the judge shall live by his faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine.
Just a little tidbit, even was. That's to show you the end time. They say the just going to have to live by faith at the same time. You know what I'm saying? The wicked, the Lord calling them out. That's we're in the time of faith. You got it before time.
It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarge his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
Let's read this again. Who is this talking about? What nation on the earth is doing this? Can you start from the top right there, bro?
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine.
What's that wine? His philosophy, his ways, the democracy, right? He'll tell you on TV, I got to go help these Iranians because they're being oppressed. You know, my God, they need freedom. They need freedom. They need the people's vote. The whole time, what about America? What you doing? Right? But they want to tell these other nations, look, let us help you. And then when they go help that nation, they set up a puppet leader, take all the resources, drain that nation, drain your land, if it ain't destroyed by war, if you don't financially agree first, when they send an economic hitman. But it says by one, what else, bro?
It says,
It's Micah chapter 2 and verse 1 in the NLT, and it says, or the subheader says, judgment against wealthy oppressors. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking of evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you had the power to do so. Now, this is Esau Edom identifying them. What they even had that guy Stephen Miller a few weeks, a month or two back, saying, hey, we got the power. if we want to take over Greenland, whatever, we got the power. And Trump, they pretty much reiterated that same thing. You don't want to let us use your bases? Hey, we ain't got to ask. Yeah.
Boy, that goes to the book of Ray. Go back to that what it said by his wine and prophet.
So, what sorrows await you, lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans, you rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you had the power to do so. When you want a piece of land, find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence.
Right. You thinking mortgage, I pay a mortgage. You got people bragging like the black women on Instagram. I pay a mortgage. I ain't in no property. Man, if you strike some oil on your land or something, the government, the so-called white man, gonna come and talking about eminent domain. You got to get up on out here. This our land now.
Or you don't own the mineral rights.
Right.
We'll cross drill on it. We'll set up shop, a half a mile away, and we'll go sideways and get those resources off of your land because you don't own the rights.
But he do.
Says, when you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance. But this is what Yahweh Shai says, I will reward your evil with evil. You won't be able to pull your neck out of the noose. You will no longer walk around proudly, for it is a terrible time.
Right. That's you so-called white people out there, man. Y'all lived it up. Y'all had a good run. Again, y'all had a nice little something. Right? But the Lord bringing y'all down, man, it's clear to see. And now the world see you never really had nothing to bring forth to the table. You don't have no talent, really. Take away the gun from the so-called white man. What he got? Nothing. He got poison. Well, yeah, poison. Yeah, that's a weapon. That's a weapon. But he ain't really all them women leaving them for us. They can't cook. They don't got no rhythm. They just ain't got it. But the Lord allowed you to rule. He's again, according to prophecy, Daniel, what that is, 4:17. He said he took the base nation and set them up over everybody else. And set them up, you got it. And set them up over everybody, you got it.
I said Esau just have warm meat. Warm meat, that's what they eat. No flavor, no seasoning.
Well, that's what an animal eats. Straight up eats shit, bro. What you?
No, they don't.
You can bring over to y'all.
I looked up on the Google. I said, why does Trump feel the need to control the nation? And one of the first bullet points said, America first, sovereignty. He asserts that the U.S. should not be restrained by international orders or cloud council abstractions like global treaties, but should instead use its economic and military power to serve its own interests directly. And that's exactly what Habakkuk 2 is going into.
You don't get down with him. The so-called white man, if you don't get down with him, then you got it. You ain't. Because of that, he got a problem.
It's Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5 that says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man.
I'm just thinking, man, how the Lord having this play out. Because look how Esau, the small ass and Trump them America, so proud in World War III, like they just moving quick and fast, pissed off, and it seemed like they running things now. You see the comments on Instagram, people even Jake out there. Man, Trump, he a YN. Just shit like they believing in Trump in America now. But watch how quick the Lord going. There's going to be something that's going to happen, man, to bring these people low. Again, the Willie always look like he going to win. It's going to be something that's going to happen. That's right.
And it said, it's Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5, it said, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keeps it at home. He enlarged his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied.
And cannot be satisfied. You can't stay in your own land and run your own land. They say you can't stay at home. You got to go across the world and get into every other nation problems. Tie them to the dollar, right? Tie them to the democracy. And first it's an economic hitman. If they don't get in, then you just bomb. You're right, then you take all their resources. You never satisfy. When the end times say Esau will rule the whole earth, the Lord gave you the whole earth. There was your playground. But you decide to have children in traffic. If you understand what we said, children in traffic, poison the world, make diseases, you know, create famines, oppress the people. That's what you want to do in your time to rule. You got it, bro.
God. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Right. You got it.
God. Shall not all these take up a parable against him?
So eventually these nations gonna get tired of you, Esau, the wicked, or as you would call yourself today, Caucasians, Americans, so-called white people. All nations will eventually rise up against you, man. You got it, bro.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Now, what's thick clay? When you go into that Hebrew word, it's ibatya, which is heavy debt. Now, again, as we've been reading these characteristics of the wicked, of the Edomites in the last days, who else could this fit? They go across the world, take everything from every nation, through robbery, through murder, starting wars after war, oppressing the nations, and you never satisfied, getting the riches, ruling the world. Is it the Chinese man? No. And we got to ask these things because it only fit one people, one nation, Esau. Esau. And now you even see the nations across the world is against America, even American allies. You got NATO. Most NATO nations don't agree with America no more. You got the EU, they don't agree with America no more. See, in Spain is a part of that. They say you can't come set up shop. We not with it.
This is Jeremiah 51 in verse 7, and I'll get it in the KJV. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh Shai's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So the nations have gone crazy behind the things that Babylon the Great has put out. And whether it be capitalism, or whatever other ism, LGBT, all that, the nations have gone mad behind this. And now they've been made drunken, and they're waking up. They're getting sober and realizing what this war has done to them. So
realizing what connected to America could do to your country.
right.
Now you have weak men walking around. China said that a while ago. They had to take certain things off American shows or something like that off their internet and TV channels because they was making too many sissy boys. Right? You got soft men across the world. You got women out there now they want to be liberated so they can get abortion or twerk. And why is it always when women want to be free and liberated, the first thing they do is just shake their ass, and that's liberation to them, or twerk, or get a job. All right, like okay, but now you see the American lifestyle have been pushed across the world, and these other nations bought into it, and now you see the side effects of it. A weak nation, a confused people.
So they got an STD.
Right, yeah, from messing with the whore. Babylon the Great, you other nations got an STD now.
This is Obadiah 1:1, the NLT, says, this is the vision that the sovereign Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua revealed to Obadiah concerning the land of Edom.
Concerning Edom. Now this is what's going to happen in the latter days concerning the nation of Edom.
We have heard a message from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua,
Right.
that an ambassador was sent to the nations to say, get ready, everyone. Let's assemble our armies and attack Edom.
So what's happening right now? All nations eventually preparing themselves to attack America. And if you didn't know the nation of Edom in the Bible, or the so-called white people today, that's your biblical nationality. And you need to know that. You took ours from us, we're giving yours to y'all. You're not a Caucasian, you're not a European, you're not an American. You're an Edomite. So this is a message to the Edomites in the last days. How the world was going to turn against you. And that's what you see happen. The world's turning against you before the Lord ultimately destroy you. You got it, bro.
The Yahweh Hashem Yahushua says to Edom, I will cut you down to size among the nations. You will be greatly despised.
You will be greatly despised. You got, I'm going to cut you down to size. What Esau, what's the big problem with them? They can't even have children. You know, y'all men shooting blanks. And then when they do have children, they most likely got autism or some shit like that. You know? But the Lord ain't blessing the so-called white man as he did when he gave him power. Now that he's taking it from you, things ain't gonna go right for you, man. You gotta do it at my job, or Edomite at my job. And Matt, yeah, anyway, his father, the owner, and talk about what they talking about, Ronnie James, nepotism. His father, the owner of the building. Well, he's second in command. His father about to retire to go put him in. But the point is, he like 35 something, still trying. Still trying. My last saying like Trey McGrath and stuff like that, man. So true. Like I'm still trying, right? The Lord ain't add on to y'all. Shalom, boy, y'all. And then the scripture say, if they be added on, it's for the sword. Things ain't about to go good for the so-called white man in these latter days, man.
You have been deceived by your own pride. Because you live in a rock fortress and make your home high in the mountains. Who can ever reach us way up here? You ask boastfully. Verse 7, all your allies will turn against you.
All your allies will turn against you. That's why you see as such France, you know, they trying to join BRICS. You see all these other nations supposed to be part of NATO, the EU. They're not agreeing with America because America coming up against them.
All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it.
And that's exactly the times that we in. Look at how Trump moving. We don't know what calls being made behind the scenes with Putin, you know, with certain other nations across the world. You know, they three-way, you know, one of American allies and be like, shit, it's better over here. You know, if you don't want America all in your business, you don't want to deal with that dollar, come over here. There's certain things being done behind the scenes that's not in the media. You know how we know? The Bible just said it. Behind Esau's back, people turning on you, and in front of your face, people turning on you. That's gonna lead. Can everybody get Jeremiah 50? That's gonna, and when they say some of your arrows against America, that's gonna lead to the Lord ultimately having these nations pissed off so much they gonna want to shoot you a missile. Can everybody get also Revelation 11 14? Third war's coming quick. Whoever get that Revelation 11
14. This is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly.
It says the second woe is past. What's the second woe? It's world war. War meaning destruction. World wars. You had World War I, World War II. That's the second woe. And it says the third woe is coming quick. The third war's war is coming quick. For you people out there who thought missiles were just created and built to be put in museums, nope. It was created to be used. And according to Bible prophecy, the main place, it's two main places, but the main place those missiles will be shut off is Babylon the Great. And guess what that's at? The place you standing in, America. And what's the second place? The land of Israel. They're buddy. See? Well, Israel is America pimp. America is the hope. But both of those places going to get destroyed according to Bible prophecy. And now, as things plan out, we see why. We see why the war will be against America and Israel. Can you read that again?
This is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly.
The second war is past, the second world's war is past, and the third world's war is coming quickly. Got it, Doc. And we gonna see the Bible gonna tell us the difference between this war and previous war, the wars of the ancient world. Got it.
This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood.
For every other battle, like King David, in King David's time, you have people actually fighting with swords, blood splashing, shields and bucklers. But this war gonna be different. Again, we're in a different time. We're in a time of technology. We're in a time of drones. We're in a time of you don't have to fight nobody face to face because all you gotta do is press a button from a desk. So how would World War III be fought? And even if that was to happen, if like ancient war, guerrilla warfare, and America was to send troops out there, think about who in your army. You got people in there just to get a house, just to get a scat pack, just to get their sex change because you're going to pay for it. You don't have no real warriors in your army as you used to in the 70s, 80s, 60s, and back in the day. It ain't like that no more. You got people on TikTok all day fighting in your army just to get a check and benefits, man. So it ain't gonna be no face-to-face combat in this world's war. How would World War III be fought? With missiles.
Isaiah 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
It says, with this war, World War III will be with burning and fuel of fire. Now again, ask ourselves, if we're in a time of war and it's possible that it's going to be with burning and fuel of fire, what is the way to make that happen? A missile. A missile. And to be specific, an ICBM missile, intercontinental ballistic missile, nuclear fire. And it's prophesied all over the Bible. And the Lord got a specific target he wants. And it's America, Babylon the Great. Now, though you will have missiles hit other places, but this is the main place, man. This is going to be the main judgment the world have ever seen. And now you see why I have been risen up to the height it's at.
This is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Now check this out. The Lord said he created the smith that blew up the coals in the fire. That is going into an ancient blacksmith who created weapons. Now the Lord saying the same thing. The Lord saying he created his smith who is going to make his weapons. Let's see what these weapons was going to be used for. Can you read it again?
This is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16.
Because we got to remember, the scriptures just like it, but the scriptures just said that this last war, World War III, will be fought with burning and fuel of fire. Let's see how it's going to happen. What will be that certain mechanism that's going to bring forth fire on the earth during world wars? You got it?
God, this is Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
The waster to destroy. Now you have what it is, Operation Paperclip. That it when America had those German scientists come over here. Yep, Operation Paperclip. Had those German scientists come over here and help you build those missiles. Split atoms. That's what the Lord talking about. That's how this war gonna be fought off. Missiles will be used. And it's beautiful because, see, the things that the so-called white man bragged in about his power and all these things, that's going to be the very things that bring him down. Joel 3 says, you was the strong one in the earth. But now, you got so proud, you let everybody else have some missiles. You get some, you get some. Now they going to use them on you. Everybody have surpassed you. You still living off that 1980 technology and weapons. 90s. Yeah, y'all got some new stuff, but China and Russia surpassed y'all, man.
Jeremiah 15:14.
What they say? No, I gotta select
You
it.
got it.
No, select it, brother.
Bring out your precept.
This Habakkuk 3. This Habakkuk 3 and verse 14. I'll start at verse 13 in the NLT. Habakkuk 2 and 13 NLT. You went out to rescue your chosen people, to save your anointed ones. And who's that? The elect. When Yahweh shall come back, all right, whom this world enemy calls Jesus, all right, with the multitude of the angels in those chariots, whom the world calls UFOs, he's coming to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, all right, and bring total destruction to America. It says, you went out to rescue your chosen people, to save your anointed ones. You crushed the heads of the wicked and stripped their bones from head to toe. And who is the wicked? Esau, Edom today. He has total rule control over this world. All right, the main country or main city that he rules out of is America today. Verse 14, here's the point. With his own weapons, you destroyed the chief of those who ruled out like a whirlwind, thinking Israel would be easy prey. So that's the point. The Heavenly Father is going to use Esau, Edom's own weapons that he created to destroy him in the end. That was pretty much it.
And the Lord, as we mentioned, as explained out there, the least of the flock was said to draw America out. And that's actually happening. We see it. So the Lord brings you to the forefront, see your own destruction, man, and you have no idea it's coming. And he rushing it. Y'all, which is good, keep going. But the Lord bring you forth to your own destruction. Not knowing that you shoot missiles, but eventually everybody gonna turn them on you, man.
It's Joel chapter 2 and verse 1, and this is in the NLT. And it says, sound the trumpet in Jerusalem. Raise the alarm on my holy mountain. Let everyone tremble in fear, because the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is upon us. It is a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick clouds and deep blackness.
Like, if y'all didn't know either, that's when the Lord go come back. The day America get destroyed. You know, people, well, we don't know the time. The time of the Lord, when he gonna come back, is in our lifetime. It's gonna be in our lifetime. Everything is happening as it was said to happen, as he even gave signs of the end. But the Lord gonna come back in our lifetime, man.
Suddenly, like dawn spreading across the mountains, a great and mighty army appears.
Talking about the missiles.
Nothing like it has been seen before or will ever be seen again. Letting you know this is a one-time thing. These missiles, these ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles that have been built, they started from the 40s with Oppenheimer, what they've gone into today, with how they've turned into today. All these were built for this specific time. They aren't here to sit in the museum. They're not here to be here for the future. No, they're built for this destruction that's coming along, Babylon the Great. And that's the one and only time that they're really going to be here.
In fact, jump the gun. We're speaking of the Habakkuk as the missiles flying in the air. Let's get what the Lord had them pointed at when they were shot off, where they flying to. They going to somewhere. The Lord called it out. You got it.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 14. Put yourself in array against Babylon. Roll the bow. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her.
All you that bend the bow, all you nations who have missiles, missile capability, turn those silos towards the west and point them at America. That's in other words, that's modern terminology for what the prophet's saying right here. You got it?
Shoot at her.
Shoot at her.
Spare no arrow.
Spare no arrow. What could this be talking about? Now remember, the prophets of old, they didn't have modern day lingo, modern day terminology. So he couldn't say, and I seen all nations turn and point missiles, ICBM missiles, at America. They had to use what they knew. What looked like a missile? He said an arrow. Sometime in the scripture, you see a dart, right? But an arrow. Now, you got an arrow, got that point on it, you got the long body with the little propeller at the back. Just like the little dart when you playing fucking darts. You see? Now, when you think about it, this is being said that these arrows being shot from one land to another land. Now, to cancel out that it can't be a regular dart,
Who's strong enough to throw a dart from one land to another land? We might be good to get it by the light, you know? I'll get Jonathan, you know, the ancient bow and arrow. But the point is, you're not gonna get it to another land that's talking about a missile. But he just didn't say missile. He said an arrow being shot from one land to another. That's why the prophets had to be sent today to tell you what the Bible talking about in modern terms. Can you read it again?
Yes. Jeremiah 50:14. Put yourself in array against Babylon. Round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrow, for she has sinned against Yahweh.
Shoot at her, spare no arrows, but she sinned against the Lord. So we see the arrows have been shot off towards Babylon.
Joel,
It's America.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 2 in the NLT. It is a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick clouds and deep blackness. Suddenly, like dawn, spreading across the mountain, a great and mighty army appears.
The missiles.
Nothing like it has been seen before or will ever be seen again.
Like as the brother said, you never had a full world war that's been shot with missiles. And after this is gonna be the last war. It's never gonna happen again. Who gonna shoot a missile in the kingdom? All weapons gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be no more place for war when the Lord come back and rule with his people. So it's talking about those missiles being used. Got it?
Fire burns in front of them, and flames follow after them. Ahead of them, the land lies as beautiful as the Garden of Eden. Behind them is nothing but desolation. Not one thing escapes.
What else could that be? Before they come, the land is beautiful. After they down and hit, it's destruction.
I mean, you can see that playing out right here today. Go to YouTube and look at what Israel is doing to Iran. They'll show you this is what it looks like before. Guess what? This is what it looks like after. They show you that arrow going up, you know, with it looks like a serpent. You know, they show you that. But that's what's going to happen to America. Those things are coming on this land. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlot.
Fiery, fire, smoke, fiery, flying.
This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 6 in the NLT. Fear grips all the people. Every face grows pale with terror. The attackers march like warriors and scale city walls like soldiers.
Right now, look at it's cold because all the prophets really did see the same thing. Joel explained it that when he seen these missiles shot off, they was going over buildings. They was going into windows, which mean they was hitting buildings, right? Going over city walls, right? Going over fences. In other words, entering the city, telling you what? No defense system will be able to stop these missiles when they shot off. I don't care what material or color of dome is, iron dome, gold dome, all of them. It ain't gonna stop the missiles. And this gonna explain it. Now, remember what it said, because Ezra's gonna say the same thing. He's seen them going over walls, over lands, all over windows, and he's seen us the same place that the other prophets seen it hit, Babylon.
Said the attackers march like warriors and scale city walls like soldiers. Straight forward they march, never breaking rank. They never jostle each other. Each moves in exactly the right position. They break through the fences without missing a step. So the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to be in these missiles, in these warheads. They're going to destroy everything in their path. Nothing is going to stop them. They're not going to misfire. They're not going to be any duds. You know, it's not going to. You're not going to shoot one of them down. It's not going to make a difference. Anything that you do, you're set for destruction. Since they never jostle each other, each moves in exactly the right position. They break through the fences without missing a step. They swarm over the city and run along its walls. They enter all the houses, climbing like thieves through the windows. The earth quakes as they advance, and the heavens tremble. The sun and moon grow dark, and the stars no longer shine. They're speaking of the explosions. The clouds are going to put up. Everything is going to be blacked out. It says, and Yahweh is at the head of the column.
And the Yahweh Shai will be leading them. But the thing is, it never said what it was going to.
Right.
It said that the nations pointed them at Babylon in Jeremiah. Now Joel seen them flying. He read what said that. But let's specify what the continued vision that Ezra seen. Because remember, Joel seen them going over the walls and windows and this and that. Ezra seen a place they hit. Got it.
This is Second Esdras chapter 15 in the GNTD, verse 40 and 41. It says, huge, powerful, angry storm clouds will arise and ruin the whole world and its people.
According to those missiles, now the whole world won't be destroyed. Mainly America and the land of Israel. We'll have other places up to show places in China, Russia, here now, maybe the Europe, you know? But the whole world won't be destroyed, but it will be chaos during that day. You got it?
A terrible storm of fire,
Talking about missiles. You got it?
hail, and flashing swords will come sweeping down on those who have power and authority. Every river will overflow into the fields, and the floods will diminish cities.
Now, think about it. Joel seen that, but he explains the same thing. They're going to go over cities and fields. Now, in the GNT, it says flashing swords. But in the KJV, it says flying swords. And they're doing the same thing Joel seen.
It said, will demolish cities, walls, mountains, hills, forests, and crops. The destruction will press on until it reaches Babylon.
The destruction will press on until it reaches Babylon. That's why these missiles going to be shot at America. That's the place that Joel seen them flying to. Right, that Apostle John seen them falling to when he said the star came. Or Isaiah seen a fig falling on Edom. Right, that's what we talking about, man. Boy, that's what the prophets wrote. That's what the Lord got us explaining. But that's what's going to play out in these latter days. We already know the outcome of this war. America gonna lose. America in the small has Israel gonna lose.
And rightly so.
And rightly so. It's according to Bible prophecy. It's in the Bible. Like it's already written. America and Israel will lose. That's when you were going to Iran, that was it. Now things about to escalate from here on out. Ezekiel 38. They used to go gather with Russia, China, Persia. It said Persia, that's Iran. Turkey. Come on, man. We're in that time. America is at its end. Got it, bro.
This is Second Esdras chapter 15 in verse 43 and 44 in the GNTD. It says, this destruction will press on until it reaches Babylon and engulfs it in a raging storm of ruin. The dust and the smoke will form a great cloud reaching to the sky, and all the neighboring cities will mourn for Babylon.
Is that not Revelation 18? But we're in Esdras. We're in the Apocrypha, though. Right, they all wrote the same thing, man. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's in there. So again, World War III, and it's so crazy to think about that, but World War III, that's going to be the very event that's going to allow the deliverance of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like, and we need World War III to happen. And we should be excited because according to the apostles, they said it, man. A great millstone. Once they make that move on Iran, you know, that was the end all be all. And you know what else tied to it? The dollar. Dollar with the oil. See, with the oil, all things about to get, it's gonna speed up, but things about to get crazy in the earth, man. Unpredictable times from here. Right? But the point is, America's your end is here. And we just read through the Bible that in World War III, the nations go turn against you and shoot missiles. That's the end of this place. So we already know how this war go in, with America being destroyed. Though you came out strong, but you will be destroyed, man. What got one more? God.
Verse 45, it says, anyone who survives will become a slave to those who destroy the city.
Boom. See? So, right, if you escape, you just go, which everybody in America go die. Everybody in America will die one way or another, whether it's going to be during Jacob's trouble when all chaos break loose and you may die in a plague, Or if you still after Jacob's trouble, when the missiles fall, you're going to die. That's what it is. Nobody in America will survive once those missiles are shot off. But if you get out of here and escape, you just go into captivity. Because it say that. It say that in, right. You know, everything will be there. Matter of fact, it's second entrance, it's somewhere in second entrance. Oh, Sirach 36. It says that, it says, those who escape the plagues shall the fire consume. So those who make it through all the six troubles, they got to the famine, the Lord gave them a piece of bread. Because you're going to have some wicked people making through the six troubles too. But they ain't going to get through the seventh one. And those who probably flew out the country before the seven hit, before Jacob's trouble, you're going into captivity. If you're not an Israelite. See?
This is Isaiah 34:4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as falling from fig, as a fallen fig from the fig tree.
That's going into World War III.
Verse 5.
And it says, it talked about the mushroom cloud, how all nations will be wiped out. That's the militaries. A lot, it's not nations. The militaries will be wiped out, you know, ultimately by one of those missiles. And Yahweh Shah coming back with the fire too. Second Ezra 13.
This is Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
So the Lord said, my sword going to be bathed in heaven. Right? Now, what missiles do? Missiles shot off, right? They eject the back out, and it, right? What's the word?
The thruster, the thrust.
Thrust. That's a good one. Thrust into the air, right? Accelerate into the air, and then eventually, as it get in the air, and when you go to the word bathe, it's going to saturate. It's going to be an overkill. The scriptures say what? 200,000, 200 million, man. It's gonna be an overkill. It's when you go to that, like dig into it, it goes back to saturate. Overkill. You ain't gotta get it. See what overkill. The law is gonna be an overkill on America, man. Because you went too far in your wickedness.
This is Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Now see, the Lord, he tied the nation, and through prophecy we can find that out. Because you might be thinking, oh, Babylon will get destroyed by the precept, right? But Babylon ain't just a land by itself. Babylon got a nation ruling over it, man. Who is the nation ruling over? When Egypt got taken out, it wasn't just Egypt and the Sphinx, and that got hit. You know, the noses, you know. No, the people of Egypt who ruled that land, they was judged with that land. So when we say Babylon will get destroyed, it ain't just the land of Babylon. It's the nation who rule over. Because you're the cause of the actions from it. Oppressing the Lord people over here in this land, all the murder in the land of other nations, right? The deception that you brought forth, the death of animals. It said in Revelation 18, the one who destroyed the earth have to be destroyed. You. So the Lord ain't just saying the land he gonna destroy America, which is Babylon the Great, but he telling you the nation who gonna go down with it, man.
And Idumea is just the extreme as Edom. Esau, Edom.
Let's tie it, because it's up enough. Babylon is tied to the Edomites.
This is Psalms chapter 137 and verse 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that reward thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. So, but it's tying Esau Edom to.
No. I'm trying to get to what
It's tying Esau Edom
got a piece.
to the daughter of Babylon, and the daughter of Babylon is America. You know, where else are they pushing all of this confusion out upon the world? Babylon means confusion. Here in this land, you know, it ain't nothing but confusion. You get marry a tree. You get, you know, men think that they women, women think that they men. Women say, I saw a video today where a chick said, "Obey you." Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna obey you. Like when she was getting married, right? So this is the land of confusion. So this is the daughter of Babylon, where Edom is in charge.
Trying to look it up. Yeah. There's a woman who married at a train station.
Wait, what?
She divorced him.
What you say?
For showing not enough affection.
You should get alimony.
You say marry who?
How many kids she have?
Train station.
Anyway, that America is a
Man,
man of
train.
confusion. That's why this thing need to be destroyed, man. Look at the ruler thereof. Look at you, bro. Bro, look at, bro, you look like a tall Oompa, you know, the Oompa Loompa, they orange with the swooped up hair. That's he's like a tall one. Midget, you know, like you got that. Oh, what way is that?
What?
You know what I mean?
You want it home for fun?
Let's read that something. Maybe that verse again.
This is Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
It's going to come down, the Lord. What they pointed out, they're going to be going towards Babylon. They're going to be shot off. Ezra said they're going to hit Babylon. Now the Lord said they're going to fall upon Idumea, which that's the Greek way of saying Edom. And the modern way of saying Edom, telling you what nation you are, white people. So-called white people. So-called Europeans. See? The judgment is coming to you. It's written. The Lord got the greatest judgment that man never gonna see and know about, written for the so-called white man. It's Bible prophecy. Now we see why he let you get this great. As you would think you great. You know? But that's why he let America get as great as it is. You got it, bro.
This is Isaiah 34:6. The sword of Yahweh by Shah is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of a ram. For Yahweh by Shah as a sacrifice in Brazil.
Boom. And Basra,
And the great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
and that's pinpointing America right there. It says the Lord have a great sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Now Esau, he ruled the whole world. Now when you go back into ancient Basra, in the land of Edom, that was a chief city. In other words, like a capital city. Now that Esau got the whole world, what would be his capital city of the Edomites in the world? America. America. So the Lord is saying that America will eventually be hit by these missiles. And I know we just ran animals, like the blood of animals. That's you people who gonna be here. Y'all gonna be the sacrifice. America's a big concrete altar. The Lord gonna send a fire, and you people and everything that's left here gonna be the sacrifice. And that's Bible prophecy. So the Lord, and that's how we know if you know the Bible or not. If you talking about God bless America, you don't know the Bible. Because it's written for God to destroy America. If you talking about I want the Lord to come back, but in the same voice saying I hope things get better, you don't know the Bible. Because things gotta get worse before the Lord come back. If you don't want no more death, no more war, no more chaos, if you don't want the war to get worse, you don't believe in the Bible. Because the worst time that the war I've ever seen is fastly approaching. You get second Acts 14, bro?
This is Isaiah 34:7. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bull.
Right.
And the land shall be soaked with blood, and the dust made fat with fatness.
Right. Got it.
For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance. This verse 8. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
Think about this. It says once Edom get destroyed, that's gonna be the day of the Lord. So we right there at that time. It's over with, man. And then the thing is, when we go into not only Bible prophecy, but secular history, nobody can disprove what we saying. Nobody can disprove what we saying. You got it.
Now get on in the NLT 38. This is Isaiah 34 and 8 in NLT. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel.
Right. And then you read a more verse says for the controversy of Zion. It's a controversy right now who the real Israelites in the earth. And people think those small hats over there in the land, the real Israelites. They not. And it's so easy to prove. That's the point. We get in the Bible prophecy and secular history, nobody can disprove what we said. Small example. It said when the Lord people will be back in the land, there will be no more war in the earth. First and foremost, before that, it says that when the Lord come back, his people won't be in the land because he got to gather them from the four corners and bring them back home. So how could they be in the land before he get here? They skipping prophecies. Who he gonna bring back home? And why is it still war in the earth if you the people? And whoever said, what prophet ever said that Babylon the Great gonna be the biggest supporter? Come on, man, of Israel. The place that the Israelites will be oppressed, and that's gonna be our biggest supporters, right? Come on, man. It don't match up. What curses y'all went through? It don't link up. But what we saying match up. What we saying about America, the so-called white man, everything lines up. And that's what the Lord said he will give us a mouth, which is all through the Holy Spirit. It's not us. You know, it's through the Chagodash. But a mouth that nobody can gainsay or resist. That was it on that.
Second Ezra chapter 14, and I'll start at verse 10 in the GNT. It says, the world is no longer young. It is rapidly approaching old age. The whole history of the world is divided into 12 periods. And the 10th period has already arrived. And it is half over. Only 2.5 parts remain.
Right, but that shows you how close we are to the end. 12 periods in war history. 12 periods in war history. And this is roughly 400 some BC, mid 400 BC. It was told to Ezra that he was in a 10.5 point. 10.5. So it's 2.5 parts left. 400 later, you had the Lord's birth. Then you had 70 AD. Then you had the Dark Ages, then the Renaissance, Christopher Columbus now, right? And 1776, and now we're in 2026. It's clear we're at the end of the 12th period. If 400 some BC was a 10.5 period. So let's see what's about to happen at the end of the world.
So set your house in order, warn your people, comfort those who are humble, and teach those who are wise. Then say goodbye to this mortal life. Put earthly cares away from you, throw down your human burdens, and lay aside your weak human nature. Put all your anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly. You have seen many evil things already, but far worse things are about to happen.
It says you have seen many evil things already. Y'all people lost y'all marbles when a couple ICE agents shot 2 Americans. Y'all crying. You were talking about RIP and you ain't even know the person. Yeah, Edom, you don't even know the person. You crying. Send it to the GoFundMe. Right? Y'all thought y'all seen something with CB19. Y'all was scared because everybody was getting sick and dying. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. That was a trial run. Everything that you have seen so far is about to be, I would say 10 times worse, but you can't put a number on it because it's at a time like never before. What is that? In order for the Lord to say that the Heavenly Father is going to shorten the time because things are going to be too wicked in the earth, what time is that? What that look like? Well, America and the world, mainly America, is fast approaching. It's in, man. It's in. Can you read that again, bro?
Yeah. Second Ezra chapter 14 and verse 16 in the GNT. You have seen many evil things already, but far worse things are, as the world grows older and weaker, the evils that will come upon its people will multiply.
It's going to multiply. It ain't say it's gonna add. When you add, it just 1 + 1. When you multiply, you get way more after that or doing that. So it ain't just gonna be one day this here and then the next day that here. It's gonna be many things happening in the same day. Many things happening the next day. Many things happening the day after. Again, y'all not ready, man. You Americans, y'all get mad when Twitter down, Instagram down, when you at a red light too long, when you can't get your food fast enough. How much more when real calamities hit? But okay. But hey, we'll end it right there. At the water, Yahweh Bashim was shy for another opportunity to come out and get a street speaking in, another sacrifice to chant down this place, man. But we're in the best position, really, in the world. As long as we continue in the best position, we know it's about to happen. We serve the power who is doing it, and we know the way to escape, man. That's a win-win right there. But hey, until next time, it's a lot happening. So stay, keep our eyes peeled. But once again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Hakadash.
and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you out here about them, pushing this word with our truth and sincerity. What else all you believers out there who believe on the gospel? And keep fighting, keep pushing, you all those out there. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.